not a lot of football this week as it was Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all the viewers, all the people watching. Hope you had amazing holidays. But this week, because of that, there has not been a lot of performance in other Colombian players that played this week. But nonetheless, there were still some decent performances, and there's still a few things to look over. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we'll start with this game, which actually is a very, very good game. It's the final of the Super Cup, the Italian Super Cup, and we have John Lucumi, who was playing in this. And John Lucumi has been having a weird season. He hasn't been playing as many minutes as I would imagine, but he started in this final. It was not a good result, as you can see here. 2-0 result. Not amazing in the final, but at least they got to the final. They kicked out Inter the week previous for that, so that's good. Yeah, let's get into John Lucumi's match. So John Lucumi, defensively, 1 out of 2 tackles won, 10 defensive contributions, which is good. 2 out of 3 tackles won, which is ground duels won. 1 out of 1 aerial duel won. So defensively, he played very good. He was a rock in the back. Only conceded 2 goals though, but he played well when he was called upon. 77 touches, quite nice. Passes, 97 pass accuracy, 61 out of 63. So not too shabby, not too shabby. But not a bad result, not a bad game from Lukumi, just not a great result. But again, just to reiterate, they had to kick out Inter, and to make it to the final, that is pretty good in itself. So nice. We go on to the next match, which we got Richard Rios on Monday. Richard Rios, who had a good game this game. They also won 1-0, which is nice. Richard Rios, as you can see here, his passing was good. His defensive duties were good. Dribbling was decent. So yeah, overall, it seems like he had a really good game. Defensively, 2 out of 2 tackles. That's nice. 8 out of 12 duels won. Great. 1 out of 1 aerial duels. That's very, very nice. And 3 clearances. So defensively, he was great. He was sound. Dribbling, 4 out of 3 dribbles successful. Yeah, that's the futsal player right there. That's him right there. You feel me? That's good for him. Yeah. And then 68. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, well, 68 touches. Good for him. Passes, 85% pass accuracy for 40 out of 47 passes. So not too shabby. Shooting, no shots. But yeah, good game from Richard Rios' match. And like I mentioned previous week, Benfica's been pulling it back. They've been doing pretty well recently. I'll show you. See the third place, but the recent form, they're still far off from Sporting, but the recent form, yeah, look at all these results. Pretty good. I foreshadowed a next result, but it's okay. A good game from Richard Rios here. Then we have Fenerbahce Besiktas. This game, John Duran wasn't available. It seems to have some personal reasons. I don't know why. Arsenal Crystal Palace. This is a good game. We have Jefferson Lerma, who played this match and actually got an assist. They were super close to getting a result. It was crazy. He was so close to getting a result. Yeah, look, 1-1. But what's even crazier is like how it transpired. So an own goal from Lacroix in the 80th minute, and then Gahey scores in the 90th plus 5 to bring it into penalties, and where they lose 8-7. But nonetheless, Lerma had a great game, as you can see here. Defensively, look at that, great defensively. Passing, don't know why he got an assist. Again, I don't understand why his passing would be rated so poorly. But 2 out of 3 tackles won, good. 8 out of 13 ground duels won, which is great. 6 out of 10 aerial duels. So defensively, he did do very well. Dribbling, 52 touches, seems like it was pretty sound. And at his passing wasn't the greatest. So yeah, that's why it was valued so low. But he did get an assist. So, you know. Overall, oh, he had 2 shots too. Penalty shootout goal. Nice. He scored a goal in the penalty shootout, which is great. But yeah, he got an assist. That was a good game from Jefferson Lerma this match. Just unfortunate they couldn't get that win. But I'm gonna get that assist in a second. So as you can see, it was a free kick. It comes in. Jefferson Lerma wins the header, and they scored a goal. So that's not too bad. I can see why his passing was deemed not that great. It makes sense, but overall that was a good assist. They went back. They got the penalties, but they couldn't win. Unfortunately, it's okay though. We move on to the next match. 1 second. Move on to the next match. The next match goes to Sporting versus Victoria. We got 2 Colombians in this match. We got sorry, going on a tangent. But back into the game. We got Victoria versus Sporting Lisboa. We got 2 Colombianos. We got Juan Castillo, which is the goalkeeper for Victoria, and he's been having a good season, but this game was not his game. You're also playing against Sporting Lisboa, which is one of the better teams. He also had an error led to goal. That was the biggest reason why his rating was down. Also, he conceded 4 goals, so not the greatest game for Juan Castillo. Yeah, unfortunately. And for Luis Javier Suarez, a rare game where he doesn't get a goal. This is pretty astonishing. But we'll look at it. He had 4 shots, 1 on target only. Nothing crazy there. One key pass, which is pretty nice. 67% pass accuracy, not the greatest either. Um, dribbling, 42 touches, one dribble successful, pretty good. Defensively, one tackle one, which is nice. 4 out of 11 is okay. 1 out of 1 aerial duel is also pretty good, but not the greatest game. I mean, it was a good game by him, not the greatest game. Uh, Nonetheless, he had one game going further into the week. We'll take a look at that later, but yeah. That concludes Thursday. Friday there were no Colombian games, and then we go to yesterday, Saturday. We got Torino versus Cagliari. These are two Colombian teams. So we have for Torino, he didn't start this match, but Duan Zapata, which has been playing pretty decently as he's been coming back, but for some reason he didn't start this match, and it shows they didn't get the result. He's been starting, the last few games. They've been getting results. This game they didn't get a result, so it shows. Duan Zapata, when he did come on, played only, what is that, 23 minutes. When he did come on, he played pretty well, played pretty decently. Shooting was decent. Dribbling was not that great, but what is that? One big chance missed. One big chance missed. I can't be defending you if you're missing big chances, bro. No, but yeah, unfortunately couldn't get that goal. One key pass is pretty good, 75. Only 4 passes attempted, which is not that many. Nine touches. No way they devalued his dribbling that much just because he just had one unsuccessful dribble. Defensively, 2 out of 2 aerial duels. Overall, not bad. He could hope. I would have wished he would have scored the goal, but that's just how it goes. And on Cagliari, Mina seems to be injured. I don't know, think it's long term, but he's injured. He didn't play this match. We'll move on. Then we got Wolves Liverpool. Wolves who stink, but in this match they didn't play that bad. I watched this match and they in the second half they could have done it. They could have done it. Again, there's a few things that have to be noted here. John Arias has to be playing. When he played well. He played very well. So and they were very. This guy also, this Mane guy, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Look out for that guy. But John Arias when he playing especially the position that he plays the best, like as a free roaming midfielder slash whatever he does. He was playing that in the second half and it was working well. Yerson Mosquera, I thought played well when he did play. They conceded 2 goals, but I didn't think he played poorly. The 6.3 rating doesn't make any sense to me. 12 defensive contributions, 1 out of 2 tackles, 3 out of 7, which I mean doesn't scream amazing, but 41 touches. Either way, he didn't play that poorly. Yerson Mosquera, he's a good player. Something to keep in count for La Selección. Just unfortunately he's playing for such a poor team, but yeah, going back to John Arias. John Arias in this match, again, like not the greatest rating, but I thought he played great. I thought he played, no, not great, but he thought he played well. No shots, passing 10 out of 10, passes successful, 14 touches. He had a few dribbles, so I don't know why they put it there, but in 11 minutes, you're not gonna do too much, right? But I thought he in his 11 minutes he did do something. He showed that he can play. There's still the old self in him, you know what I mean? But he just need more minutes. We'll keep on moving on. Juventus Pisa. I mentioned that previously, but Kawhi didn't play this match. He's injured again. Hellas Verona versus Milan. We got Daniel Mosquera, who played only the first half and didn't have the greatest game. They also lost 3-0. Milan is killing it. What are they? They're second, but they're doing well. And we can move on. Victoria in this match. We go back to Castillo, and Castillo gets a clean sheet in this match. We'll see it. He made 2 saves from inside the box. Not too bad. He got a clean sheet. Victoria is also doing pretty well in the table. So if it wasn't for that previous game, he would have had a pretty good week. And this game was decent, but yeah. Keep going forward. This is a good game. Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. Great game. We got I forgot to mention earlier previously. Munoz is still injured. That's a big blow. Munoz is one of Colombia's biggest stars. But Jefferson Lerma over here, as you can see, another good game where he played pretty well, but playing in a different position. He plays center back this time. His passing seems to be very, very, very nice. Defending's not that greatest, but we'll see why. It seems like he did decently. 2 out of 3 ground duels won. 2 out of 8 aerial duels, not the greatest. Missed his tackle, but he wasn't awful there. 84 touches, which is good. Passing, 2 key passes, nice. Especially as a right center back, that's quite interesting. 90% pass accuracy is nice. In terms of shooting, no shots, but another good game for Lerma. This was a good week for Lerma, and they just didn't get good results. Both hard teams, both London teams. They played against Arsenal and Spurs. They were hard games. They just couldn't get the results, but Lerma showed that he's a good player, ultimately. We'll keep moving. Then we got Bologna, Sassuolo. I mentioned this previously, but Lukumi also played this match. Another bad... Well, yeah, for Bologna's sake, this is not a great result. So they lost earlier in the final to Napoli, and then they lose this game to... So they tie this game to Sassuolo, which is behind them. But they're creeping up. They're pretty close. They're 4 points behind. And Lukumi doesn't seem like he had the greatest game. Defensively, it doesn't seem like it was amazing. We'll see why. 5 out of 3 ground duels. I mean, only 3 defensive contributions, and he's a center back. Yeah, to lose. Sorry, not to lose, but to tie. I mean, yeah, I can see why it wasn't amazing. 1 successful dribble, which is nice. 78 touches, good. Passing, we got one key pass here, which is very nice as a center back, especially 90% pass accuracy, 63 out of 70, and no shots. I mean, from the rating, it doesn't seem that awful. I mean, it's defensive. I mean, defensively, he wasn't the greatest, so I guess it makes sense in that aspect. But yeah, not the best week from Lukumi. It's okay. Bologna's still doing pretty well in the league. We'll see. They're seventh. They're just outside of a European competition. It's very close in the top for the Serie A. Very interesting competition, these guys. But yeah, we'll move on. We got Braga Benfica, where we have Richard Rios playing again. And Richard Rios, in this match, he would have had a great game if it wasn't for one single thing. So his shooting was poor, passing decent, looked that great, dribbling okay, defensively not amazing. But I'll show you 1 second. Is it here? Yeah. So right here, errors led to goal. He had an error that led to a goal. But other than that, defensively he had 1 out of 1. So that's great. 1 out of 1 tackles 1. 5 out of 6 ground duels 1, which is great. 3 out of 3 aerial duels. So he was playing super good except for that error, unfortunately. Dribbling, another decent game dribble wise. 60 touches, good. 1 out of 1 successful dribbles, which is good. Passing, 1 key pass, and then for total shots, 5 shots, but nothing too much of note. 1 on target. It wasn't a bad game. It wasn't a bad game by him by any stretch of imagination. It was that error that unfortunately was poor, and they tied 2-2 due to that error, which is that error helped that become a possibility, like made the tie a possibility. But yeah, they needed that win too. That's 2 points dropped. They're pretty far from Sporting, even farther from Porto. But Rios, despite that error, still having a good season, has been playing pretty well in the last few games. And I'm still gonna deem this as a pretty decent game, except for that unfortunate thing. But we'll keep moving on. And this actually goes to this is the last game. This is the last game of this week, and we got Sporting versus Rio Aveiro. And as you can see here, look at that hat trick from Luis Javier Suarez. Like I mentioned previously, it's astonishing that he didn't get a goal in the previous game, but he made it up by getting 3 goals. So we'll look at his performance, and he also got an assist. So yeah, we gotta look at that too. 3 goals. He had 9 total shots. Wow, 5 on target. So yeah, he was from that volume, he was bound to get a few goals. 2 key passes, 1 big chance created, 1 assist. So good. Not only did he score the goals, he also created 1. So that's great. Dribble wise, 38 touches. Nothing too crazy. 1 out of 1 tackles 1. We got 1 out of 2 ground duels 1. Not too bad. 1 out of 3 aerial duels. So nothing too crazy there, but what a performance by him. And with that being said, let's take a look at his hat trick. Oh, so the first goal comes in the 34th minute. It was a corner kick. It was a header, and it comes to him. So not the nicest goal, but he was there at the right time for his first goal. 34 minutes was pretty good after that. And then the second goal came in the 2nd minute, similar to the first one, being a corner, but this time he headed it. So he headed it straight from the corner. Not too bad. It was pretty nice. Actually, a quite nice header too. That was the second goal. And then crazy, a minute later, he scores his 3rd goal in the British hat trick. This one was a ricochet. It was a rebound. But again, previous to the first goal, he was there at the right place. He was in the right place and capitalized on it. So not too shabby. Good performance from Luis Javier Suarez. Let's also take a look at his assist. Give me a second to look for that. Give it a second. So yeah. Oh, what a ball! What a ball! That's my first time seeing this. That was a great ball. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Yo, the assist was nice on the both goals. But yeah, good for Luis Suarez. He had a great game this week, and that actually was the last game of this week. That was the last game. But yeah, as you clearly saw, there was not too many games, but nonetheless, there was still good performances. We're gonna take a look at what there is to come for next week. So any good games? There's Man United versus Wolves. Wolves again, they stink, but hopefully Arias can get some minutes. Sporting Gil Vicente, so maybe another hat trick for Luis Suarez that game. Next weekend we got Wolves West Ham, nothing too serious. Benfica Estoril, nothing. Newcastle versus Crystal Palace, that's a very good game. That is on Sunday. And Real Madrid Betis, which is another great game. So there's a few good games next week. It's picking up a little bit for the Colombians at least, which was quite nice. I'm missing all the action-packed football. But let's get into the tier list. So this week we got Luis Javier Suarez on the fire list. He was top player, scored a hat trick. Also had another good game, got an assist as we saw in this. He deserves it. Great player. Jefferson Lerma goes in the good category. He played very good this week. And in the stinker category, we're gonna put Castillo in there because he had a pretty bad game against Sporting Lisboa. Even though he got a clean sheet, he had not a great game against Sporting Lisboa. That's pretty harsh. That's pretty harsh. It's pretty harsh. Maybe I don't. No, I'll put him there for. I don't know. We'll see. I'll put him after. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what to think. Who else deserves? Anyone deserve anything? I don't think anyone deserves anything. Okay. Yeah. So. I bet. Wrong one. Okay. So to reiterate the tier for this week, there's not many performances. So as you can, hence not too many players. But as you can see from our top player this week was Luis Javier Suarez, who had a fantastic week. He scored a hat trick, got an assist in the same match against Rio Aveiro, and also during the week he had another game which wasn't his greatest game, but played pretty well nonetheless. And then Jefferson Lerma had also a great week. He's in the good category. Wasn't a top tier performer because the results weren't there, unfortunately. But he got an assist against Arsenal to get them into penalties, so they weren't completely kicked out. And then also had a good game against Tottenham Hotspur, but they lost both games respectively. They lost to Arsenal in the penalties, and they lost to Tottenham Hotspur. In the sticker category, I'm gonna say there's no one really this week. If I had to be harsh, it would be Castillo, which did not have a good game against Sporting. So Luis Javier Suarez earlier in the week, they lost 4-1, and he also had a mistake in that game that led to a goal, unfortunately. And another player that is worth noting, he's like a little bit in the middle. Had a great performance, had two good performances, but had an error led to goal. So he's gonna be floating right there. But yeah, that's this week's rating. Let me know if you agree with them, but that's that. And then that was the conclusion of the whole week. So this is everything done. Thank you for my two biggest fans, two guys in the chat. But yeah, without further ado, that's it. Thank you very much. Bye.